welcome back to Random Librarian here on YouTube. Today we are going to be talking about something that I teased a little bit at the end of a recent video, but that you may not have waited until the end to read. But today I am unveiling my own version of a Hamilton book tag, just because I had so much fun doing the one that is actually, like, you know, created, that I want to try my hand at doing one myself. So this is the Hamilsquad book tag based on the actual characters of Hamilton and prompts that I think represent them in some way, shape, or form. Feel free to disagree, feel free to change this if you want to kind of tweak it and have it your own way. If someone has already done this, I am really sorry. Well, let me just do a quick Google, actually, because not doing the research is not an excuse. So that's just auto-correcting to the Hamilton book tag a whole bunch, so maybe it's the first time someone's doing it. If it's not, sorry, let me know and I will A, credit you, and B, probably do your tag as well, because these are fun. For Hamilton, which is the first question, I picked a book or series that people argue over. So, for this, and I haven't read this yet, so I'm not part of the argument yet, but I picked A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. I have seen both people who absolutely loved this and people who loved to hate on this. So I'm excited to read it and figure out where I fall on that spectrum and hopefully have fun. Also, these new editions from, I want to say, Bloomsbury are so much prettier than any of the other editions. I'm not gonna lie. I don't love the book covers when they have dramatically posing people on them. It's not my jam. This kind of much more minimalist, pretty colored book covers, brightly colored book covers, way more my thing. So that's what I picked for that one, for Hamilton. I don't know if he would approve of that, but here we are. Number 2 is Aaron Burr, Sir. So either a book you have no opinions on, or one you're waiting to read for some reason. So for the first, I think I'm gonna say After the Flood. So I did a full video review on this one, and it's been like a while now since I've read it, but it just, like, I didn't know what to think of it because the marketing was so off, and then, like, by the time I actually realized what the book was, I was just kind of meh about it. So, like, that's my man book, After the Flood. And then the book that I've been waiting to read for some reason is Amazon's fault, because I had placed an order for Children of Blood and Bone and the sequel. They were supposed to come together, and it was both of them in paperback, which is my jam, my thing, holy crap. I think I ordered these like 2 months ago and they just got here today. So it's Amazon's fault, and I will read these ASAP because I have heard so many good things about this series. I'm really excited. Then we have John Lawrence, Your Book Bestie. I figured like that was the right way to do it. The closest friend I've got, you know? So for that one, I'm going to say that I am currently loving Tavia and Effie from, let me pull up the cover because, oh my god, it's so pretty. It's so pretty. A Song Below Water by Bethany C. Morrow. Like, are you kidding me with how gorgeous this is? And they are wonderful characters. And their relationship, they're like found sisters basically, and Tavia's family adopts Effie, and they're just so supportive of one another and protective, and I just love them. I love them so much. Oh my god. So I would want them to be my book besties, even though they are book besties, but they're also book sisters, so like maybe that's a little bit different, but I don't care. I love them, and I want to defend them with my every last breath. Holy crap. Then we have Lafayette, everyone's favorite fighting Frenchman, and this is your favorite book that you've read in translation and or in another language. So I read in French. I'm a librarian in a French library, so I had a lot of options for this, But I think I will always just stan hardcore Leila Slimani, who wrote The Perfect Nanny is the American translation of Chanson Douce. She's got a bunch of wonderful books, both fiction, nonfiction, and kind of poetic. She even has a graphic novel. Like, she can do no wrong. This woman is incredible. And I got to interview her for work, and it's on YouTube somewhere if you want to find it. I was trying my best not to fangirl, but I am obsessed with her. Another book that I read recently that broke my heart in all the best possible ways was Galfay's Petit Pays, which is Small Country. It was translated, I want to say, a year or two ago, and it is so good. It's very slim, but it is incredible, and it talks about one family's, but specifically one boy's experience growing up in Burundi. And his life gets completely turned on its head when civil unrest breaks out in his home country, and he's got this dual identity of a French father and an African mother. There's so much going on, but it's handled like in very few words and just very lyrically and wonderfully. The author himself is actually a rapper and like spoken word poet, so it's, oh my gosh, it's beautiful. Read it. Read it, please. Then we have Hercules Mulligan, a character whose wardrobe you would like to steal. So I decided to pick A Curse So Dark and Lonely, which I think like halfway through. I have to wait for another hold to come through on Libby to finish reading it. So like from jump, Harper has an amazing wardrobe in her, room in the castle she was kidnapped to come to visit. But the way she describes the clothes that are there, obviously they're like made for a princess, but they're all just, they sound so soft and cozy and like functional as well, because she has riding pants. And I would love to steal her wardrobe. It sounds great. It sounds great. Then we have King George, a book opinion that makes you crazy. For me, that has to be controlling AF relationships, whether that's friends or boyfriends or girlfriends or partners or anybody. Mainly the one for me that drives me up a wall is if it's like a very heteronormative romance in a book, and for the most part of the ones that I have read, it has been the male love interest just being so controlling, and then it makes it even worse, in my opinion, if the female character or female readers are like, oh, but it's so romantic. Like, no! Oh my god, I hate it so much. Makes me absolutely insane, in case you couldn't tell. Then we have Angelica, a book you wish was more satisfying. I kind of hate saying this because this is what's weird about this book. Like, I don't know why it wasn't satisfying. I can't really put my finger on it because I really enjoyed all of the characters. But like maybe the storyline was just like too dramatic for me, or too much telling instead of showing. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I loved these characters. But this is The Gilded Wolves by Roshani Chokshi. It should have been, if I told you like the main plot points and why I loved all the characters, you'd be like, I don't understand why this isn't your like favorite book of the year. I don't either, okay? I don't either. So that's why it's my Angelica, a book I wish I was more satisfying. It's very upsetting. Then we have Eliza, best of books, best of stories, an absolute fave, an all-time fave. So I think there's like a whole bunch of books that I could mention now that I've read like within the last month that were just incredible, and I'm like, okay, wow, these are so good. They are breaking the curve for all the books that are coming after them. But if I'm being super honest, the only answer for me has to be Pride and Prejudice. I'm so basic for this book. Oh my god. I keep a copy with me in every place that I live. I really enjoy the annotated one. This one is the Norton Critical Edition, which has all of these endnotes, all of this like extra info. and like different things that you can go like further reading, because the book itself, like the story, the fiction, ends here. And all of this is backgrounds and sources and like source material and just so much happening. Oh my, wait, I totally forgot about this. One of my teachers in grad school made us these stickers and I had completely forgotten about that. That is so funny. Anyways, I love Pride and Prejudice. It's my comfort book. I come back to it. If I'm having a shitty day, I will just read it and it makes me happy. So, here we are. And then a recent favorite that I don't have with me because I lent it to my mom and then she must have lost it in our house somewhere because she can't find it, and that means that I can't give it to the next person that I want to read it, but I want to give it to everybody. Tuesday Mooney Talks to Ghosts, Kate Reculia. It is a love letter to Boston. It makes me so happy. She's so sassy. It's this fun mystery that like, it's perfect. It's a perfect book. I love it so much. Then we have Peggy, a book that doesn't get nearly the amount of shout outs that it deserves. And for me, this was like the original book that I shoved into every single person I met into their hands, which is The Gentleman by Forrest Leo. This is a satire on those kind of like travel novels of like the Victorian era. Victorian gentleman accidentally sells his wife to the devil and then they all go on shenanigans in order to try and get her back, and it is so fun. It's so fun. And the editor and the author, they're two different characters, and they hate each other. So like the editor will just have like really sassy footnotes and it makes me laugh out loud like nothing else. Oh my gosh. I read this on like the train for the most part, going back and forth from like school and work when I was in grad school. And it made me burst out laughing on very crowded public transit that normally makes me very stressed. So I think I made 6 friends of mine read it within 6 months. Read this book. Read this book. So good. Then we have George Washington. I mean, there were so many different ways I could go with this, but I went with like the most basic one. A book with great fight scenes. And I think I'm gonna have to mention the Grishaverse again, because like I've just really started getting into it, and I feel like with magic sometimes the fight scenes can be just like absolute craziness because what's happening. But I'm in the middle. I'm 15% into the second book of the trilogy, and I just finished the first book of the duology. And the fight scenes are really good. Like, they're really good. Even when someone gets kind of superpowered over their normal superpowers and just, like, puts everyone to sleep, it was still written in, like, a very, like, edge of your seat kind of way. I'm talking about Nina at the end of the book. Sorry if you haven't read this before, but you are actually the last one to the party, because I thought I was. Yeah. She, like, still edge of your seat, even though she is controlling everyone around her and making them fight each other. Oh, so good. So good. Then we have Thomas Jefferson. So I had 2 options for this one. This is also a choose your own adventure. It's either a book that others loved but that you hate, so like an unpopular opinion, or a plot twist you didn't see coming in the vein of Jefferson has my vote. So for the first, I think I would have to say 2 very unpopular opinions. In 5 Years and Conversations with Friends. I wanted to throw Conversations with Friends like against a wall. That's how frustrating it was to me. I don't understand why people love it. At all. Don't get it. Then in 5 Years, there were a lot of choices made there that didn't do it for me. The main one being that her best friend was dying of cancer and she was getting cozy with her best friend's fiance while she was also engaged to somebody else. Not a good look. Not a good look. And I know people grieve in different ways or whatever, but like I really wouldn't have sex with the other person who loved her as much as you claim to, like the night she dies. That's creepy. Not a fan of that. And then I said this for the last time plot twist came up, I think at the first Hamilton actual book tag, but oh my goodness, the number of plot twists in Girl Serpent Thorn and just how absolutely perfect they are. Yep, Girl Serpent Thorn. It's gotta be an answer on every kind of tag I do. Why is this not in focus? It's so pretty. Just focus. There it is. This book blew my mind. One of my absolute favorites of 2020, possibly of forever. I want everyone to read it. Then we have, okay, this is where it gets kind of like messy on my planning because I had a lot of thoughts and I wanted to get as many characters as possible. 12, James Madison, a book or series recommended by a friend. So I have a couple here. So these are by two of my really good friends on Bookstagram who I love and adore. Oh my gosh. Cassidy of Ladies Getting Lit recommends Rabbit to everyone and I'm so excited to read it. Anna just read my copy because she's a much faster reader than I am, and she said that this is one of her favorite books of all time now. Like, that's how quickly it jumped. It's this thin, and it deals with a lot of like heavy topics, but Patricia Williams is a really well-known comic as well, so it's handled in kind of her unique voice, and I am just so ready to be wrecked by this book. It's gonna happen. I'm excited for it. And then Alex from Illiterate Cats recommended the Scythe, Arc of the Scythe trilogy. So I am halfway through this one because Alex just passed 3,000 on Bookstagram and I started reading them kind of in celebration for her. And this, I read all of that yesterday. That was, what, like just over 200 pages? Very fun so far. Then I picked Philip, a book that makes you cry, because I sobbed when he died, and also literally cannot listen to It's Quiet Uptown without sobbing. Like the first time I listened to Hamilton all the way through again was on the train on the way home from work. It was raining outside. I was in the E line. If anyone knows Boston, it's like a very rickety green line train. It's above ground. Like there was ample light for people to just see me have a complete breakdown in the back of the train. If anyone turned their head to me, they'd just be like, why is this person sobbing? I can't handle it. Oh my gosh. I also cry at the drop of a hat though. Like I will say it's something that I'm having to come to terms with myself about, because I was like, no, I'm like totally tough and like can handle a lot. My emotions are not under my control. Okay. My tears are not under my control. I cry at everything. So for some reason I can't think of any like really just like emotionally wrought books right now. Maybe I'm avoiding it on purpose. I don't know. But two books, like, just to prove how easy it is to make me cry. I cried at both of these books in like the past month and a half. These are like everyone's feel-good books. They made me cry, sob. I don't know. January's letter from her dad. Wow. Oh my god. Broke my heart. And then there were a bunch of things that made me like weepy a little bit in this book. When they're getting like their first onslaught of outing to the public. Wow, that made me emotional. Also when the public was like rallying behind them, teary as fuck. When the mom gets reelected, yes, I would like a female president, I'm gonna sob. So yeah, it's really easy to make me cry. So those two are my answers for Philip. But please, you know, have more real answers than that if you decide to do this tag. I don't know. I don't know. Couldn't think of any. Then, so I want to include Mariah Reynolds, but like I don't actually know really what to put as her tag. Because that song is disgusting, but it's because Hamilton is gross. Mariah Reynolds just, like, needed help, and he decided to make it an awful thing. And, like, it's not her fault. It's his fault. But, like, her being there and her involvement in the situation makes him an awful dude, or, like, reveals him to be an awful dude. So, less about her, I guess. Like, because she's not really... I don't know. Her voice in, Say No to This, her parts in that song are incredible. But I don't like listening to the whole thing because Hamilton's parts make me genuinely, like, a little sick. But Mariah Reynolds' parts in Say No to This are fire. So here we are. So I decided to call this one a book that is holding you hostage. However you want to interpret that, please feel free to. For me, the series that is holding me hostage is Patrick Rothfuss's The Name of the Wind, because it has been so long and he still hasn't published the third book. Oh my god, there's so much interest, people need to know what happens, and he still hasn't published the third book. And it's been marked as a trilogy since this one came out. But there's only 2 parts, so yeah, it's holding me hostage. I'm kind of bummed about it. Then I have a bonus question, which is, sit down, John, you fat motherfucker. So this is a book you could tear to shreds, verbally, of course. For me, so I have a couple of, like, rant reviews up on my channel. So those are for Lily Barlow and the Mystery of Jane Doe and the Jean Harlow Bombshell. And I have ripped both of those to shreds in videos. But one that I don't think I've published yet, but that I would just, like, did not like at all and could give you a detailed list as to why, was Stalking Jack the Ripper. It just... that wasn't it for me. Like, how are you gonna take, essentially, a modern female teenager and drop her into Jack the Ripper era London and, like, bend all the rules so that she's allowed to be modern and smart and a feminist and whatever, but also still make her hate other women and, like, look down on, like, girls her own age? And also give her, like, a really weird love story. And also somehow make it be someone she knows who's Jack the Ripper. So, like, that's why she's able to, like, solve it so quick. Like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? And also, why does it have, like, multiple sequels? One person cannot be connected to Jack the Ripper, Dracula, and Houdini? The devil? I don't know. Like, no, you are stretching my ability to suspend disbelief, which I can suspend disbelief. I enjoy sci-fi and fantasy, and I enjoy suspending my disbelief even if it's in a ridiculous book that is supposedly based in reality. But that's too far. It's too far. It is too far. Okay, so that is my Hamilsquad book tag. If you want to tweak any of the questions, if you want to add your own, I know I didn't cover all of the different characters, but that was 15 different questions, so it felt like it was getting a little long. I hope you enjoyed it. If you do try it on your own, if you do your own version of this tag, please let me know. I would love to be able to share it on Twitter or just, you know, do whatever. So I'll put all of the questions down below as well as where to find me and whoever else I mention, because if you are on Instagram, you should definitely follow Cassidy and Alex. They are 2 of the funniest people I have ever met and could not be more lovely. Alrighty. I hope you guys enjoyed this tag. I hope you will think to do it in the future as well. If you do, and if you want to talk about anything Hamilton, my comments are open, my DMs are open, and I hope I will see you super soon for another video. Until then, I don't have an outro, but see you soon. Happy reading? Is happy reading my outro? It might be.